Hey everyone out there in internet land, it is Regular Jim again, coming at you with another action figure unboxing video. This is the first week of August, and I've already started the month off with a bunch of purchases and some eBay stuff that came in the mail. So as you can see, I got 4 new figures here that I'm going to go over. And let's see. So first up, I've got this Skybound exclusive Invincible figure. This is Invincible from the comic book of the same name, created by Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker. I'm a huge fan of this series. When it ended a few years ago, I was very sad. I bought this figure because the Skybound's online store was having a sale, and I thought, you know what, I'm never really going to have another opportunity to buy an Invincible figure, so I figured I might as well at least get one. Unfortunately, I sort of misjudged the size of this figure. The listing did say that it was a 5-inch figure. I thought, oh, how small can 5 inches really be? Turns out, it's a lot smaller, I'll be honest. I'm not thrilled with its size. I kind of wish, you know, it was a 6-inch figure. Because it's going to be a little tough to put him up with my other figures and feel like he's in scale. Interesting note, I didn't realize when I bought it that this was actually a McFarlane Toys figure, which shouldn't surprise me. Kirkman was always, you know, a big fan of Image Comics, and McFarlane is a big part of Image Comics, so it only makes sense that one of Image's big superhero comics, Invincible, would also get McFarlane Toys tie-in for the figure. So let me open this up and get a closer look at it. We should probably talk about the case real quick. Pretty basic case. It's, like I said, it's pretty small. Displays the figure well. It's got the logo from the comic here on the back. You got some character artwork and some legalese. There was also a couple other figures in the line which I decided not to get, and I'm kind of not regretting it now that I have this one in my hands, just because of how small it is. But let's get this thing open and see what we got. Alright, so right off the bat, this figure has pretty good articulation. I'm seeing. Nothing spectacular for, you know, its size, but it's got, you know, a reasonable amount of articulation, I would say. Primary things to keep to note: his arm extends out about this far, not quite 90 degrees. It does rotate all the way around. It's got a single joint in the elbow, but interestingly, the wrists here are like really soft plastic, so you gotta be really careful when you pop that elbow to about that far, is about as far as it'll go. It'll also, of course, stretch out. Interestingly, it does rotate at the elbow, not up here at the shoulder where you'd hope, but you can probably do a few things with it there. Kind of interesting why the wrist is the way it is, because the hands are supposed to be removable. Alright, so, because as you can see, the hand here, that spare hand, is here at the wrist. It has the opening. But for some reason, the wrist here wants to separate out of the figure. And I really, really don't want to pull that out of there, because I don't know if I'll be able to put it back. The wrist does have some movement to it, but it's so soft, it's hard to get it to do what it's supposed to. So I'm not going to mess with that too much. So that's not great in my opinion. wrist-wise because I can't even get the hands off to replace them. Not that I would want to. The big problem with this figure is it's got the 2 replacement hands. Like that. Neither of them are fists. Invincible should have fists. So he's got a gun hand for no gun and open palms for whatever. So I wish he had fists. Head mobility, you know, turns all the way around. Pretty good. Chin goes up. Chin goes not very far down. Other arm is the same as the other arm. Just extends out, rotates. Again, with that really soft wrist I don't really want to mess with. The elbow, if I can get it situated, does bend at a 90-degree angle. Hips, no hip rotation. That is locked. The leg extends out like this, extends back like that. Single jointed knee goes about that far, not super great. And his foot's got a little bit of up and down wobble. And some side to side. So he's going to have some pretty limited posing possibilities. Like I said, he's a little small for the figures I like. I kind of wish, since I spent 20 bucks on him, I kind of wish he was bigger. He does have, you know, he's a similar size as to this Doctor Who figure. So they're in the similar size scale. So I'll probably put them together on my shelf as opposed to the others. But, you know, again, for McFarlane toy, the detail work is very good. The sculpt is very good. It looks like Mark Grayson Invincible. I just kind of wish it was bigger and had a tiny bit more articulation in the hips or in the chest so that he could rotate. Because he's pretty much locked in this one position. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with him, to be completely honest. He's a little basic. So that's him. That's Invincible. Next up. So I bought these on a whim. These are Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog Go Sega series figures. You know, I'm a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but I'm a fan enough to have an on-model figure in my collection. I also picked up his good buddy Tails, who is a character I actually probably like more than Sonic because he could fly, and that's just kind of cool. So let's open these up, take a look. Real quick, we got the case here. It's got the got a nice logo. You know, figure's quite visible. He's got this spring thing. I'm not really sure what the deal is with the spring thing. We're gonna find out when we get it open. Box is pretty basic. Shows you some of his basic articulation. And the other figures in the line, Sonic, Tails, Eggman, Shadow. I'm pretty sure Knuckles is part of it too, but he's not shown on this particular one. Yeah, he's not on the Tails one either. Again, the Tails one is almost identical in that, except it shows some Tails articulation. So let's open these up, see what we got. Alright, so that was a lot harder to do than I expected. Sonic's big quills here on the back make getting him out of the package a bit tricky. And Tails, similar situation with his rotating tails back here, which are one giant piece. The two tails are not independent of each other. They both just kind of spin together. Not sure I like that very much. I think it would be better if you could move them separately. The thing I'm noticing real quick, though, is that these guys are made of really soft plastic. Like, really soft plastic. Like, they feel like they're almost bendy figures, if I didn't know any better. But the truth is, they're not. But articulation-wise, you know, the Jakks Pacific figures are, you know, I looked at the Mario figure in an earlier video, the World of Nintendo's Mario figures. They're all very basic. In fact, they are very cheaply made, I'll be completely honest. And these are no different. The problem with these figures I'm finding, here as I touch them, is that they are very top-heavy. Or, in Tails' case, he's kind of like weirdly bottom-heavy because of his tails. If you lean him forward like that, he'll just about stay standing. Sonic, similar problem where his head is so large, he wants to fall over. So, very limited posing possibilities. Here's a closer inspection of their legs. As you can see, his articulation joints are a little out of whack. Actually, it looks like he's almost falling. His joint is almost falling out of where it should be. Because it doesn't. Oh, it does bend back. Whereas this one, actually, I'm beginning to think this guy might be broken. I don't want to mess with this peg too much because I don't want it to come apart. No, wait, it's just out of alignment. Just gotta twist it and then put his foot. Yeah, so his articulation is primarily here in his fist will rotate, other hand will rotate. His shoulder joint, again, is very soft, so you want to be really careful with it. It will rotate 180 degrees, as well as rotate I thought it would rotate up and down, but I can't seem to get it to budge. But if you look very closely, you can just about see a joint right here. I gotta play around with it some more because I don't want to put a lot of twist on it because I don't want to break it, because it is, like I said, very soft, very bendy like. But yeah, these are little cheap $10 figures. They're very, you know, they're on model. Sonic looks just like his current like modern self, not so much the chubby 90s version, but he looks pretty good. Tails here has all the same sort of like articulation points on the wrists and on the knees. The knees, the very thin legs, I think, are the major like weak points on these figures. You know, they're pretty cheap, and of course, put them here with Mario. Perfect. There goes your big head again, there, Sonic. Yeah. Yeah. So, I gotta play around with them some. Find they're gonna have pretty minimal posing possibilities simply because of the top and back heaviness of them. Little disappointed, but I'm not surprised that they are as they're meant. These are definitely toys. They're definitely meant to be played with. I just think they look pretty good in terms of scale and sculpt. So I kind of like I like that I picked them up, and I'm glad to have done. So finally, we get to something a bit different. Now, as a rule, I am not a GIJoe fan. I had a few of the figures when I was a kid, and I of course watched the cartoon when it was on television, but I'm not a GIJoe fan. Not really. I don't go in for like any of the new stuff, the comics, any of that. I'm just not a big GIJoe fan. However, Hasbro has started putting out these GIJoe Classified series figures. They appear to be Target exclusive at the moment. I don't know the details on that. It's a little confusing to me, the way sometimes that Hasbro does these figures and their exclusivity to certain retailers. All I know is that some people online are saying they're a little hard to find, and because it's kind of random when they show up at Target. And Target's pre-ordering system with their online store isn't great. But I found Snake Eyes here at my local Target, and it was $20. and that's right about the right price, in my opinion, for a good 6-inch figure. The thing about this line of figures is that they are 6 inches, like I like. They have a lot of accessories, which is kind of cool. They are very classic in their design. They're not, they're not identical to like the 80s G.I. Joe, but they're a very modern take on the same basic design. I do not plan to buy very many of these figures because I'm not a G.I. Joe fan. I picked up Snake Eyes because he's Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is generally pretty cool in terms of action figures. I mean, look at the guy. He's a ninja in all black. I mean, you can't really go wrong there. I do plan to try and get at least one more of these figures. I probably am going to get the Baroness, who comes in a $40 pack with a motorcycle accessory. I don't really care about the motorcycle accessory, but her figure looks pretty good. And I did see a price tag for the figure at the Target when I bought this. It was just sold out. So for the next month, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that Target to see if they restock. And if I do get it, I will of course do an unboxing video of that. So, this G.I. Joe Classified Series box is, a pretty standard Hasbro box. These figures are going to be fairly similar in build quality to other Hasbro figures in the 6-inch line, the Marvel Legends and the Ghostbusters figure that I opened up previously. Packaging wise, of course, you can see the figure pretty well, all of his accessories. See Snake Eyes here on the cover, some pretty cool. The G.I. Joe logo is, of course, always classic. Even though I don't care about G.I. Joe, I can appreciate its graphic design is always striking. Get some more art here on the side of the box. Back of the box has this really cool bit of art. I think these are all the figures that are in the in this particular wave of figures. You got Duke, Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Roadblock. I always forget this guy's name. I should know it. Destro, Baroness, Cobra Commander, and I'm pretty sure the other figures, although I don't think I see it, I definitely saw that the Cobra Troops are part of this line as well. And actually the Cobra Troop figure looks really good for a really generic, like, just like Soldier Man. So, of course, we are now going to open this up and see what we got. No. Okay, so this is Snake Eyes, his G.I. Joe Classified Series Snake Eyes. Right off the bat, you can tell he's got an insane amount of detail. It's way more than you would expect on like a regular G.I. Joe figure. Like if you look real close at his pant leg here, you can see basically they have sculpted in texturing to his pants. If you look at his boots here, his knee pad, all this stuff has very fine detail in all of it. He's got folds all throughout his pants. Of course, he's got his tight top bodysuit. What's really interesting is these bandoliers, these belts, are all loose. I believe they can be removed. I may do so in the future. Currently, I will leave them on. Articulation wise is pretty good, for a Hasbro figure. His arm doesn't quite go 90 degrees, but it does go all the way around. He's got those double jointed elbows so that he can bend his arm super far. Although it does bang into his bicep, so he can't quite get it flush. He's got some rotation here in the shoulder, and he's got twist in the waist. He's got bendableness in his chest. Woo! Look at him do the limbo. It's actually quite a bit of twist, to be completely honest. Almost too much. In fact, his entire like middle torso area feels really soft because there's so much articulation in there. It's actually a little hard to get him into position the way you want, because his hips also roll left and right, as well as forward and back, as well as that chest joint. So you get a lot of motion in there. In fact, I would say a little bit too much. Leg wise, his leg can go out 90 degrees, but he's got this leg knife sheath that kind of stops you from doing that, or else you'll bend your knife, which is an accessory that comes in and out. Other leg is similar situation, except he's got his gun holster with silencer. The leg will go about that far back, although they do twist here in the hip. Kicks out about 90 degrees. Doesn't quite go 90. Does not even go 45 degrees backwards. A lot of sideways motion though. Knees are double jointed, so in his case, he gets almost flush. Almost, not quite. His leg muscles kind of bang into each other a little bit. Ow. And his foot joint is pretty good. Goes a little bit left, a little bit right. Not backwards very far, and not forwards very far. Honestly, it actually doesn't move very much at all. Oh wait, weird. I might need to play more around with this, because what it actually does is like slide super far to the left or to the right, but these aren't really like realistic motions. Might be useful for posing purposes. Not sure. Oop, knife fell out. I really like the sheaths and how the weapons all clip in. Like his sword here plugs into a peg on his back right here, and the sword itself, of course, comes out. So that's really cool. Now it also comes with a backpack accessory, so you can plug the little machine gun here on the side on another peg on the backpack. So if you want a backpack with a gun, you can do that, but let's face it, swords are cooler. Gonna need to play around with him some more for posing. Like I said, he's a very good looking figure, but he is surprisingly what I would call soft. He feels really lightweight, and like I said, in the hip he's like really wiggly, so it's a little hard to it's a little hard for me right now to put him in a pose that doesn't feel a little bit awkward, but there's definite possibilities here with various stances. Like that, you know. That's a start, I suppose. Gonna have to play with around some more. Find him a pose that I like. Maybe put a sword in his hand, do stuff with him. It's a very cool figure. I think it's worth about 20 bucks, like I paid for it. I wish it was a little heavier quality, but you know, the amount of sculpting detail in this, I would say it's very much worth it if you're a Snake Eyes fan. Like I said, it's not quite a classic 80s design, but you know, it's Snake Eyes. He's pretty much defined by this visor, and that's about as Snake Eyes a visor as you can get. So, you know, if you're a fan of GIJoe, I recommend this line of figures. Like I said, if I see that Baroness figure, I'm definitely gonna go pick that up. I am a fan of the Baroness. Not so much most of the other Joes, to be honest. Probably only ever get those two figures in this line if I can find the other one. But so that's it. That's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope to do more of these videos in the future. Any feedback would be appreciated. Thank you.